Melvi Broadcasting Network, a divine voice out of Africa. Remember to like, to subscribe, and to click the bell. The Lord loves righteousness and justice, and that the earth is full of His unfailing love. That's what Psalms 33 verse 5 says. So Zimbabwe at 45. We're looking at 1980 to 2025. A nation at 45. Just a few reflections that I want to share with you on Zimbabwe's journey today from my perspective. As it marks 45 years of independence, it is a milestone that perhaps prompts both celebration but also introspection. Because on 18 April 1980, our flag was raised high. The hopes, the dignity, and the unity that was an aspiration for many from ashes of colonial oppression, a people stood together, black and white, in rural areas and in urban areas. They were civilians and they were soldiers. They all stood to declare that freedom was not just a dream, but a destiny that had begun, and we were chasing it. There have been successes over the years, seeds of promise. Over the past 4.5 decades, we have seen Zimbabwe gaining numerous world-class victories. The education sector, once one of Africa's most literate nation, Zimbabwe's investment in education remains a shining legacy. You cannot take away anything from what Zimbabwe produced and continues to produce. The country has played a very key role in a number of diplomatic peacekeeping missions in the region. Zimbabwean soldiers have served with distinction in regional and global peace missions, and they've done so to put the country on the map. We have had various esteemed cultural identity and centers of excellence where our rich traditions, our languages, and our music have really defied globalization. We have stood with pride as a nation, strengthened because of our cultural diversities. We have had agricultural resilience despite our challenges. Many of our rural communities have actually revived local food systems, local food banks, and agro-based entrepreneurship. The country continues to thrive despite the challenges we've had. But if I don't tell you about the failures of our country, I will be glossing over a lot and presenting a very skewed picture. We have had our failures, wounds yet to heal yet. As we celebrate, I want us to acknowledge the dark valleys we have also walked through. There are many who are not here with us to celebrate because the economy collapsed. Some took their lives. Hyperinflation inflated some, and they died. The early 2000s brought ruin to industries, to savings, and to livelihoods. Many left the country. I cannot keep silent on the political violence and the intolerance of the politics of Zimbabwe. The democratic space has often been suffocated by fear and by suppression of dissent. You are eliminated if you don't support the government of the day. Many have emigrated. There's been a serious brain drain as millions of Zimbabweans have left to live abroad. Not out of choice, but just so they can survive. Should I not speak about the corruption and the cronyism that we see when national resources have too often benefited the few at the cost of the many? Will I be a fair citizen if I don't speak to issues that affect the citizens? Citizens who have inspired greatness. As we celebrate the 45 years of nationhood, I spotlight two exemplary Zimbabweans I came across as I studied. One is a civilian and another is a military leader. I read a life-changing story of Dr. Tererai Trend, a civilian, a global voice for education on women empowerment. From her rural village, to earning a PhD, a doctorate, and many honorary PhDs, Dr. Trent reminds us that dreams buried alive can rise again. Her belief in education as the foundation of freedom remains a call to action for every Zimbabwean child. Kudos to such civilian leaders. I came across another name that has been whispered to me from childhood, that of General Lookout Masuku, military man, a commander of the Zebra forces during the Liberation War. This man came to my neighborhood. The name that remained in everyone's lips, that General Masuku, was a symbol of principled military leadership. Principled, distinguished. Though unjustly imprisoned in post-independence, he never betrayed the unity and the vision of a united, democratic Zimbabwe. What did Jesus say about civilians and the military? Oh, you thought I'm just going to talk about these two civilians? No, my bigger story is the battle between civilians and the military in Zimbabwe. Jesus never vilified soldiers or civilians. Instead, he spoke of their shared humility and humanity and the potential for both of them to embrace faith. You see, for civilians, Jesus saw them as sheep needing a shepherd. That's Matthew chapter 9, verse 36. He called leaders to serve, not to dominate. That's Matthew chapter 20, verse 25 to 28. You see, when he spoke about soldiers, he commended the Roman centurion for unmatched faith. If you read the story in Luke chapter 7, verse 1 to 10, he did not condemn the soldiers who asked how to live righteously, but he told them, do not extort money, be content with your wages, no insurrection. So he spoke to this group and said, be careful how you use your authority. Because in Jesus' eyes, both soldiers and civilians were redeemable. They are honorable, and they are called to be people of integrity. My personal conviction as I reflect on my country's independence is that rejecting the spirit of hostility, we can stand firmly for this truth. My conviction is that I will never be part of a culture or a narrative where political opponents are seen as enemies. These are my brothers and my sisters. We think differently, we see things differently. To me, personally, as a Zimbabwean, democracy is not war. It is a contest of ideas, not identities. The true strength of a nation lies not in silencing dissent, but in listening, refining, and evolving through it. I would say improve your argument. Don't kill others for differing with you. I believe the way forward for a maturing democracy such as one in Zimbabwe is that it calls for courageous citizenship and civil leadership. We must speak the truth even when it shakes the comfort of power. You see, there ought to be spiritual accountability in our leaders and our citizens. Let the church be a conscience, the heartbeat of a nation, not a co-conspirator of the state. We need a church that speaks to the voice of God. Not that the people are the voice of God, but the church is the conscience and the spiritual barometer of a nation. We've got to have a generational dialogue. The youth must learn the cost of freedom and the duty to preserve it. It cannot be used against them because they were not there. I look forward to national healing because without justice, there can be no genuine peace. We need to tell our full history with both tears and triumphs. We cannot sweep under and wipe our tears when we have not healed from our pain and that which tore us. My final word is that God still has a plan for Zimbabwe. Oh yes, I believe it. Like Israel, who was in exile, Zimbabwe may have wandered, but we are not forgotten. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. This is God speaking to a Zimbabwean leader, Zimbabwean citizen, to a Zimbabwean military man. He says, the plans to prosper you, plans to give you hope and a future. The challenge is on us to seek the Lord and do what He tells us to do. Let us build a Zimbabwe where no tribe, no party, no class, no color feels sidelined. Let us commit to a Zimbabwe where freedom reigns and faith stands firm as the conscience of our nation. And that the next 45 years we may have an overflow of justice to the whole continent of Africa, where there is opportunity for every child of Zimbabwe and peace reigns supreme. May God bless Zimbabwe. May God bless its people. May God bless the civilians and the military. And may Christ's love guard us all. In Jesus' name, I thank you.